Hello, everybody. How's it going? Installment number 2. All right. This 80s shit, loving it. Loving the 80s stuff. All right, so yesterday I kind of did a little introduction. Yesterday's video, I kind of did a little introduction about what I was going to be talking about, how things got started, where the name came from, all that good shit. Now it's time to get into the real action, the real stuff. All kinds of crazy shit I did in the 80s, teenage crap, all that good stuff. And so here we go. Hopefully my parents aren't watching. Nah, they probably won't watch. Even if they did, who cares? Anyway, so, all right, so it started with Poison. And, you get into Slaughter, you get into Motley Crue, you get into all that. All that just comes with the package, right? So, first concert I ever did, well, I went to a couple of like Whitney Houston, things like that, but my first actual concert that I was like totally excited about was Poison, of course. My aunt that I mentioned in the other video, she kind of was friends with one of the local DJs, and that was when they played, oddly enough, they played Poison on the pop stations, which I don't. Well, they played it on the rock stations too, but for some reason they played. And this was way before Every Rose Has Its Thorn. I mean, we're talking, Talk Dirty to Me, all that. They played that on the actual regular channels, which I still can't believe. But it was the 80s, early 90s, whatever. So she got me 2 tickets for my birthday to see Poison with David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth was the main, and they were the openers. And so you can see how long ago that was. And I was so excited, so excited. I mean, I was probably, how the hell old was I? Maybe 15? 14, 15, and hear my dad saying, here you go to a concert. Yeah, okay, no supervision, sure. Different time, people, different time. So I had 2 tickets, and that was the huge deal in my house because I was living with 3 stepsisters, but 2 of them were right around my age. And I was taking the one that was really a big Poison fan, and then the other one was like, well, it's not fair, I can't go, and my dad says, now this is the real shitty thing. My father says, well, why don't you give the tickets to her because she's upset? I go, because they're my tickets. I got them as a gift. Why would I give them away? And I'm thinking to myself, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, tough shit, dude. She wouldn't give me her shit. So why should I have to give up mine? But that was my dad. Very passive, very like, oh, well, let's not rock the boat. But it's okay to piss me off, but So anyways, no, I won that battle, and we went, and it was great. Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, yeah, they were the openers, so they only did like 45 minutes, but still, it was awesome. I got to see Poison. I was so excited. And then, I'm trying to think what I went and saw after that. I want to say it was, I saw a bunch of local stuff, like, I don't want to say local stuff, but like there was this amusement park that used to have concerts all the time, and it was like, like from the pop channels, and nothing like huge, I would see a lot of those, but then there was another amusement park that was probably about, I think it's about like 45 minutes away. They were having, what the hell did they call it? I think they were calling it Hair Night or something like that. I can't remember the title, but it was a bunch of bands. It was, Poison was the main band, which is awesome because they're going to play for at least an hour to 2 hours, so that's great. So Poison was the main band. I think the openers were Bullet Boys. Remember Bullet Boys? Oh my God. Smooth up in ya. Yep, Bullet Boys. They were the openers. I say a bunch of bands, but I think it was only 3 because it was Bullet Boys were the openers, and then Slaughter, and then Poison. So now this was an amusement park. So now we were under the impression that, because I know that the amusement park that's like only 10 or 15 minutes away from us, that I had gone to a lot of concerts, prior to this, you know, if you have a season pass, if you buy a ticket for the park, you get the concert, or if you buy a ticket for the concert, you get the park. It was all kind of inclusive. Well, I hadn't been to this park because, like I said, it's 45 minutes away, and my father would never drive us down there. It's too far, and then we'd have to get a ride back, and so we never really went to that one. But this is where the concert was. So I had called many times because this is pre-internet, people, so you can't just, you can't just go online and be like, oh, let's look up. Sorry, I'm adjusting the camera. I probably should have did this before, but I was going to stand. But anyway, so, you can't just look it up online like, oh, what's the hours? What's the rules? You actually had to call. So I called like 3 times just to verify, just to say, just to make sure that we could go to the concert and, I'm screwing this up. Go to the concert and do the park, okay? So I called a bunch of times, and everybody said, yes, if you have a concert ticket, you can go on all the rides, you can go to the amusement park, vice versa, okay. So, because it is 45 minutes away, so we had gotten a ride down there. Somebody else was picking us up after the show. And, when you're a teenager and you don't have a license, you don't have a car, you have to rely on other people. It was a different time, people, So we had everything in line. There was a bunch of us that were going. There was like, gosh, I can't even remember. I think there was like 5 of us that were going. We each got tickets. And so we get down there. My father drops us off. We all get out. Now, you have to remember something. Pre-cell phone, guys. Pre-cell phone. So here my father had to drive 45 minutes back, and there's no way, once he leaves that parking lot, once we enter that park and he leaves that parking lot, there's no getting in touch with him. I mean, yeah, we could call my stepmother at home, but she's not gonna be able to tell him until he gets home. You know what I mean? So, not to mention that it was a long distance call. So we couldn't call anyways. We would have to call direct. We'd have to call collect. And oh my God, it was just such a different time. Things are so simple now. Everything was so complicated. I don't want to say complicated, but much more difficult. Okay. So, all right. So we get to the park, and now they had to drop us off in the parking lot, and then you had to take a shuttle from the parking lot to the front gate. So by the time we got to the front gate, my father was long gone. All right, so, and there was none of this, like, he walks us to the gate sort of thing. No. We were teenagers. He was like, all right, see ya. We'll see you later tonight, whatever. Okay. So we get in the shuttle. We're all excited. We were going to spend the day. We left, I think the park opened at, like, 11. And we left at, like, 10 to get there for, like, around the time it opened. And we were going to spend the whole day at the park, then go to the concert at night, and then have someone pick us up. It was supposed to be this big old thing, right? So back then, you could bring a 20, and you all could eat for that whole day on that 20, right? So we each pitched in a little bit of money so that we could have enough for the whole day to get drinks and all that. And, all right, so, we're in the shuttle. We're all excited. Yay, Poison, woo, whatever. We get in there, and the lady says you have to buy a bracelet in order to go on the rides. And we're like, and I said to her, I called 3 times, 4 times. I spoke to such and such a person, and they're like, yeah, you can get in the park, but you can't go on the rides. And I'm like, well, that's pointless. What are we going to do all fucking day, Well, we're like, it's too late. We can't go home. We can't, we'll just make the best of it. We're still going to see Poison tonight. Who cares? We'll make the best of it, right? So we're walking around, whatever. So it's probably about an hour before the concert starts. And all of a sudden, there's this huge fucking crowd, like over by one of the roller coasters. So we go over. It's like, we'll see. Maybe somebody got hurt. Who knows? Whatever. So we go over. This is awesome. We go over, and Slaughter is going to ride the ride. Like 3 or 4 guys from Slaughter, or I don't know, 2 or 3 guys. I don't know how many guys there was. 4 guys, 5 guys, I don't know. Like, there was only like 2 or 3 of them that were going to ride the ride. And we're like, so of course everybody's like, oh my God, woo, I don't even think one of them was Mark Slaughter. I think it was like the drummer or guitar. I couldn't tell you to this day, but I know there were a couple bandmates that were going to ride the roller coaster. So everyone's like yelling, woo, whatever. So they were picking. Now, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but you gotta remember, I was like 16 years old. I weighed like 100 pounds, long blonde hair, the high hair, you know, the works. So, okay. It was a different me, guys, okay? It was a different me. So, but I was shy, though. I was shy. So, anyway, so they were picking people to go on the ride with the bands. I didn't even put my hand up because I'm like, well, because we couldn't, you know, I didn't think it was going to happen. You know what I mean? There's like 100 people there, like waving and whatever. And I was like, ah. And I looked at them, I go, do you guys care? They're like, no. And so we kind of just were like, we weren't even trying. Well, I remember I turned to my friend Julie because she was on this side of me and I was telling her something. And then the next thing you know, someone's tapping me on the shoulder like that. And I turned because I thought it was like some bitch or something, you know. Always in the defense. I'm always in the defense. So I turn and it's like one of the security guards. And he's like, you know, whatever that dude's name was, he's like, he picked you to go on with him. And I go, me? And I'm like looking around like thinking it's somebody else. And they're like, yeah, you. And I was like, oh my God. And I looked at my friends and I'm like my face is like beet red. Totally beet red, right? And I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm sweating and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm thinking, I'm going to get on this ride and I'm going to puke. You know what I mean? Just like, because I'm just so anxious. Like, of course, anxiety wasn't labeled back then, but I know that's what it was. I was totally anxious. So I'm like, okay. And then he's like, well, let me see your bracelet. And I'm like, well, I don't have a bracelet. And he's like, well, you can't ride the ride. Then I'm like, but the band member picked me. He's like, no, we have to pick somebody with a bracelet. Son of a fucking bitch. I didn't have a bracelet. And you want to know how much the fucking bracelet was? $9. What in the fuck? What in the fuck? So they picked someone else. Now, here's the thing. First of all, that really isn't fair. I mean, if they're having a promotion, it shouldn't fucking matter, right? But it did. Okay. Rules are rules. All right. I get it. So, kind of heartbroken, kind of defeated, whatever. I'm like, all right, you know. Sitting and thinking about it now probably was the best thing ever because Lord knows what might have happened after that ride. I was like, all right, how old really? I think I was 16. I can't remember the exact year, but I think I was 16. I know I was under 17. So I think I was 16. Now I got to tell you guys, I was a late bloomer. So, you know. I mean, I had my boyfriends or whatever, and, you know, you make out a little bit, but there was never, no undressing, none of that shit for me. I would have been, oh my God. Let's just say that could have been really traumatizing for me. You know, and who knows, it could have been innocent, could have just been, oh, you're on the roller coaster, okay, but I get the feeling that wasn't quite what was going to be the whole deal of that day. So it's probably a good thing. You know, you never know. So that was an interesting story. I remember I had a pen pal back in those days that I had met. I don't know if you guys remember the magazine Hit Parader, but it was a big rock and roll magazine that talked about all the rock bands and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It was like a teeny bop magazine, but for rock and roll music, whatever. So I read that like religiously. Every week it came out, I read it. Well, they had a list of pen pals in the back, and they were people that would like have similar interests musically to you or whatever, and you could write to them. So I wrote to this. Now I still don't know to this day if that was a female or a male I was writing to, because they had a very universal name, you know. I don't remember. It was something like Chris or something like that. I don't remember, but I know it could have went either way. And they never said. And then the picture they sent, you know, and I didn't want to come out and be like, are you a male or female? No. So I didn't. So I don't know, but they were cool. They were from South Dakota, I think. And I told them, and they were huge into Slaughter. Like, that was like huge for them. Slaughter was huge for them. So when that happened, I wrote to Chris and told them, and they were like, oh my, they wrote back and they were like, holy shit, in big letters. They were like, that's so unfair. Oh my God, I would have freaked out. So that was kind of cool. This video is already 14 minutes. All right, I'm not gonna make it too much longer. That's my story for today. I'd love to hear from you guys. What you think? Anything you want to talk about from the 80s, I'm there. I will be doing more videos. I have lots to talk about on this subject, so you're probably gonna get bombarded with videos. So hopefully you don't mind seeing my mug. But until next time, be good to yourself and each other.